Balake? Where is Balake at?
My name's Blake.
Do you want to go to war, Balake? I'm for real. Aaron.
Aaron is here, everyone. Welcome back for more SPTV, where every day is a great day not to be in a cult. Well, Scientology is constantly at war with its own attrition. Scientology is one of the fastest shrinking religious movements on earth. Quite the opposite of the claims that it makes. But guys, in that effort to fight the war against its own contraction, Tom Cruise has been dethroned as the #1 recruiter of new members to Scientology. And I bet you guys didn't have this on your 2025 Scientology bingo card. But the new top recruiter for new members to Scientology is none other than the leader of the Nation of Islam, Louis Farrakhan. Now, I've spoken about the very strange partnership between Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam and David Miscavige and the Church of Scientology. I've spoken about this a lot over the years. It doesn't get enough attention, in my opinion. It's one of the craziest things. I wish it's something like the major media outlets would dig into, because this is absolutely wild. Louis Farrakhan as the top recruiter for Scientology, it also means that Louis Farrakhan's making a lot of money from Scientology, because Scientology has an incentive program where when you recruit someone into Scientology, the person you recruit is called your selectee, and you are called their field staff member. So field staff member, or FSM, is what Scientology calls people who bring new people into Scientology and get them to pay for courses, get them to pay for auditing, and they get commissions. It's like 10 or 15% commissions. I can't remember. It's a certain percentage for courses. It's another percentage for auditing. Basically, as long as you continue to stay in touch with your selectee and you continue to be their Scientology mentor, if you will, you are going to get a percentage of every dollar that person pays to Scientology forever. Now, when I explain it this way, people go, oh my God, Scientology is like, it's a multi-level marketing pyramid scheme. And you go, not quite, close, but not quite, because the commission structure only goes one level deep. So if I get you into Scientology, I'm going to get paid a commission of every dollar you pay to Scientology. But if you get someone else into Scientology, you're getting the commissions on that person, and I'm not getting any override. I'm not getting a cut of that at all. So anyway, this is crazy. A long time ago, I believe it was Scientologist Alfred Johnson. I have to get this straight. And actually, I'm not going to get it straight because I'm going to forget the details. Alfred Johnson is a guy who used to be a Baptist minister. He got into Scientology. Scientology was like, we like you. He's a Black Baptist minister. Scientology's like, oh, we like using Black people to make it look like Scientology's Black friendly. Oh, and we also like it when our members pretend to be Christians, because that makes us look more, makes us more palatable to the American religious community. So just keep telling everyone you're a Baptist minister, because then we can use you. You can be one of our spokespeople. So Alfred Johnson, I can't remember if Alfred Johnson got Tony Muhammad into Scientology and Tony Muhammad got Louis Farrakhan into Scientology, or if Alfred Johnson got Louis Farrakhan into Scientology and then Louis Farrakhan got Tony Muhammad. I can't remember which one it is. But something like 20 years ago, somehow Louis Farrakhan got introduced to Dianetics by Alfred Johnson, and Louis Farrakhan fell in love with it. He's like, all the members of the Nation of Islam have to do Dianetics, but just Dianetics, not Scientology. Because Dianetics is a mental science and Scientology is a religion. And we're not interested in Scientology. We're just interested in Dianetics. Those days are long behind us, guys. Louis Farrakhan is now a full-on recruiter for Scientology. Let me show you what inspired this post. Here is this video. It is this post from a young woman named Zakia Muhammad, finishing Scientology's Purification Rundown at the top Scientology organization in the world, called the Flagland Base in Clearwater, Florida, where I live, folks. I have a lot of thoughts about this. I'm going to show you the success story that she wrote after finishing the Purification Rundown. Now, guys, real quick, the Purification Rundown is the first auditing action. They call it auditing action for some reason. It's not auditing. It's just sitting in a sauna for 5 hours a day for a month. But it's the first step on Scientology's bridge to total freedom. And that's exactly what it is. It's a sauna sweat out. It's Scientology's detox program. but like ridding your body of toxins. It's not detoxing in terms of getting off of drugs. It's supposed to cleanse your body of all of the toxic and drug residues that you've accumulated in the fatty in the cells. Your fat cells. This is what L. Ron Hubbard. This is how he claims the body works. Is that all of the toxins and the pollution in the environment and the chemicals in your food, they accumulate in the fat cells of your body. And through L. Ron Hubbard's revolutionary program of sitting in a sauna for 5 hours a day, drinking some oil, like literally vegetable oil, eating lecithin, walking on a treadmill for about 10 minutes, you can rid your body of these toxins, and it brings you a certain amount of spiritual clarity and awareness, and you're ready to embark on your further Scientology auditing levels. Someone is not supposed to do the Purification Rundown for the first time at the Flagland base in Clearwater, Florida. You are not supposed, you cannot join Scientology in Clearwater, Florida. Flag is for Scientologists who've already sort of been seasoned and vetted in their local organizations. And it makes me wonder if this is truly the first time that Zakia has done the Purification Rundown. But when we look at her success story, it certainly seems like it is her first time doing it. And I have yet to actually get some really good inside info from people still inside the Scientology cult bubble on what exactly is going on with these Nation of Islam members. I get a little bit of info here and a little bit of info there. But anyway, we're going to go through some of this, and I'll explain some of the questions that I have about this as we go. Okay, so that's Zakia. This is, without question, you'll see that is the Purification Rundown Center at the Flagland base. Oh, you might go, if you're not supposed to do the Purification Rundown at the Flagland base, why is there a Purification Center at the Flagland base? That is because Scientologists are routinely being programmed to do their Purification Rundown again. Some Scientologists do the Purif 3, 4, 5, 6 times. You can have someone who finishes the highest level of Scientology auditing, Tom Cruise level, OT8, and then their case supervisor is like, well, your next action is you need to redo the Purification Rundown. And so that's why there's a Purification Center at the Flagland base. Okay, let's look at Zakia's success story. And so right in the beginning here, we can see at the top, you're supposed to circle whether you are a public Scientologist. Are you a Flag staff member, meaning a Sea Org member who works at Flag, or are you an outer org trainee? That's actually a staff member from one of the outer orgs who comes to Flag for training. You can see this is very, very recent, February 19th. Zakia Muhammad has finished the Purification Rundown. Now, here's what's interesting. Her FSM is Naira Muhammad. You know, as they say in Scientology, Mo money, Mohammed. Okay, that was a bad joke. So because everyone in the Nation of Islam practically has the last name Muhammad, there's no way for me to know if Nahira is Zakia's mom. And maybe that's why Zakia is doing the Purification Rundown at Flag. Maybe her mom has been a higher level Scientology public at Flag for a while, and her daughter came with her and did the Purify Flag. That's possible. I also suspect. So remember, guys, I said in Scientology, the commission program, the commission structure only goes one level deep. I very strongly suspect that Louis Farrakhan has an arrangement with his Nation of Islam members that he gets a percentage of the FSM commissions they earn from Scientology. I do not have any evidence to support that theory. But the idea that Louis Farrakhan continues to encourage his own members to go up Scientology's auditing levels when the Scientology belief system is completely incompatible with the belief system of any other religion makes me believe there is a financial incentive. And this is what I mean when I say I've never been able to really get really strong inside detailed information as to what exactly the nature of the relationship is between, or the nature of the agreement is between Louis Farrakhan and his members and the Nation of Islam and the cult of Scientology. Okay, so let's go back to the success story. I am really amazed with my experience on the Purification Rundown, and all the words within this success story would not be sufficient to explain how this has transformed my life. I know my journey this past month will continue, reveal more wins. See, I find it amazing that there's typos in this, even though it's been typed out. And I don't believe she typed it out. I believe she hand wrote it, and then someone in Scientology typed it out for publication. That's my guess. And yet we still have typos. Okay, I know my journey this past month will continue to reveal more wins and realizations for the days to come. I first want to thank the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for introducing this technology to our beloved people, the lost found nation of Islam. For without that, myself and those I know would not be here. I want to thank my transformational life coach, Naira Muhammad. Well, there you go. I feel like she would be calling Naira her mother if it was actually her mother and not just her transformational life coach. By the way, this is just an example of how the members of the Nation of Islam are using a completely different vocabulary to describe things within Scientology than normal Scientologists would. A normal Scientologist would actually get in trouble for using non-standard language like transformational life coach. Like, honestly, if that would never be allowed in a success story, to be published in a success story by a normal Scientologist. I want to thank my transformational life coach, Naira Muhammad, and her husband, Brother David Muhammad, for the repair of the Black family, for continuing to work diligently and with love to continue to make our community and world a better and more sane space. I personally want to thank them for encouraging me and believing in me to make this possible. I want to thank L. Ron Hubbard for his dedication and hard work bringing Dianetics and Scientology to the world, to the staff at Flag, and all of the Purif IC, that means Purif in charge, and staff for making this program a success. Again, we continue to see typos. I didn't really know what to expect from my Purif, but after going through the program, I can say that I feel brand new. My skin feels purified, as if I received brand new skin. Even though I have decent eye vision, my vision improved greatly during this program. I really didn't understand the great negative effects of toxins and radiation that my skin, scalp, and body were exposed. Again, do they not like using the word to? We're exposed to until I did this program. And this is coming from someone who has tried to live a clean lifestyle. I even had a huge emotional release on this program, which I did not anticipate. But it goes to show that the tech is valid therapy. See, I mean, this is an example of the Nation of Islam members correctly using Scientology nomenclature. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Oh yeah, the tech is valid therapy. It works and brings results. It does both of those things, guys. It both works and brings results. This was one of my huge wins because I was able to release a huge emotional hurdle that was suppressed by one of the medications I had to take for health reasons. Another major win was when I had flushed the chemicals from toxic hair chemical I received in my younger years. I was astonished to see that hard toxic chemicals from a hair relaxer being flushed out and no longer have a negative impact on me in present time. After that happened, it felt like a weight was lifted, more typos, off my head, and noticed a change in my clarity of thinking and reaction time. Okay. As I continued on the program, I noticed one day after the next that I regained and revitalized my energy, more typos, and became more in present time. I learned in this program that part of the slackness or sluggishness I experienced in the last 3 to 4 years were due to toxins and vitamin depletion. But now I wake up energized to take on life and ready to live the life of a Muslim, as taught by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Furthermore, doing this program validated what I have been taught about how to eat to live, and I credit those principles to my ability to successfully complete the program. I am now more uptone and bright and feel very refreshed. That's Scientology language, uptone and bright. This has inspired me to not only continue to live a clean life, but to do it better and help educate others to do the same. I am now a Purification Rundown completion. I truly am grateful that I had this wonderful opportunity to do this, and I'm excited about my next action on the bridge, Survival Rundown. Holy shit. The Survival Rundown is, I mean, it's hardcore Scientology. It's hundreds and hundreds, if not even over 1,000 hours of Scientology auditing on what they call the objectives processes. These are auditing processes. They're called objectives because the auditing processes and commands themselves have to do with the physical universe. So it's called objective auditing, touching things in the real world, as opposed to subjective auditing, which is thinking of answers to questions. So, you know, an objective auditing process would be something like, look at that wall, thank you, walk over to that wall, thank you, touch that wall, thank you, turn around, thank you. You know, you're executing the auditing commands by just moving your body. You're not being asked to think about things. And the survival rundown is basically David Miscavige's new version of all of the objective processes that L. Ron Hubbard ever mentioned anywhere. And it's a huge Scientology action. So the Nation of Islam members have long since abandoned the idea of just doing Dianetics auditing. Okay, so Zakia says, the cleanliness and beauty that I feel is truly a gift. Zakia Muhammad. I do not know how they keep track of who is related to who when everybody has the last name. It's an absolute nightmare. But here's what's interesting about this. This really gets into, I know the IRS has long since passed the point of considering Scientology in any sort of a probationary period or review status for their tax exemption. But back in the day, in 1993, Scientology got its tax exemption back. The IRS had already taken it away. Scientology had tax exemption previously. They had taken it away. They had determined that L. Ron Hubbard was personally enriching himself through the funds of Scientology. So in 1991, John Travolta encouraged Bill Clinton to have the IRS restart the process of reviewing Scientology's tax exemption. They earned that tax exemption back in 1993. During that process, Scientology tried to tell the IRS what it tells everybody, which is that it's an applied religious philosophy. It's not something you believe. It's something you do. It's common sense, practical tools to improve your life and your spiritual awareness. And it's completely compatible with all the other world's religions. You can be a Scientologist and be a member of any other religion. This is what Scientology publicly says. There's just one problem. The IRS had a problem with that. They said, well, that's cute, but that's not how religions work. And if you're going to say you can be a member of your religion and a member of any other religion at the same time, I got bad news for you. You're not a religion in our eyes, and we're not going to give you your tax exempt status. And Scientology said, oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that? My bad. Let me correct the record. At the entry levels, at the introductory levels, what you study in Scientology is just common sense, practical tools for life. And so when you walk in our doors, we'll welcome anyone into our doors and into our introductory course rooms, and even maybe some of our lower level major courses, if you're a member of another major religion. But you're right. You're right, IRS. The truth is, as you move up to Scientology's higher levels, we do absolutely require that you abandon other faiths, and you have to only and exclusively be a Scientologist. That's what they told the IRS to get tax exemption. And the truth is, that is actually true. You are not allowed to be a practicing Scientologist and a practicing member of another anything else. It doesn't even have to be another religion. You're not allowed to do meditation. For a while, Scientologists weren't allowed to do yoga. You're not allowed to read like spiritual self-help stuff. You wouldn't be allowed to practice the methods in The Secret, for example. All these other things, anything other than Scientology is considered an offbeat practice. It's considered squirreling. It's considered doing something other than Scientology. And that is strictly prohibited in Scientology. The irony here is that Scientology was actually being honest with the IRS. It's in that case, about that specific thing. It's everyone else that Scientology is lying to about this, including Louis Farrakhan. And it makes you wonder, does Louis Farrakhan not understand this about Scientology, or does he not care? How can Louis Farrakhan allow his members, not only allow, actively encourage? In fact, he made it mandatory. Louis Farrakhan said I can't remember if he said all members or all male members. I think it was all members. All members of the Nation of Islam had to enroll on the Dianetics course at their local Scientology organization by a certain time, or they were not allowed to continue to be a member of the Nation of Islam. He made it mandatory. And he's pushing them into an organization that does believe there is no God. There is no such thing as a prophet. They're like Elijah Muhammad. Who, what, huh? They don't believe in Jesus. They don't believe in Moses. They don't believe in any prophets anywhere for any reason. They don't believe in a supreme being. They don't believe in a heaven or a hell. They don't like you cannot believe in Scientology genuinely and believe or practice in any other religion. They're just completely incompatible. And so, and yet Louis Farrakhan keeps pushing his people over there. Is Louis Farrakhan being deceived by David Miscavige and Scientology, or is he in on the scam? I have no idea. And I very, very, very much want to do a chat with as many members of the Nation of Islam as I can, or former members who are familiar with what has been going on within the NOI and Louis Farrakhan, and what do they think Louis Farrakhan believes? It's hard for me to imagine anything other than a financial incentive to be behind what we are seeing here. And so, yeah, guys, the Purification Rundown and the Survival Rundown, these are not the highest levels to which members of the Nation of Islam have risen. Louis Farrakhan's deputy, Tony Muhammad, who I believe has changed his name again now, has finished OT3. He's finished higher than OT3. I think I saw him finish OT4 or 5. Guys, OT3 is where you learn about Xenu, the Galactic Confederacy, the body thetans, blowing up all the people in the hydrogen bombs, in the volcanoes with the hydrogen bombs 76 million years ago. Like, Louis Farrakhan has to be in on the scam. Anyway, that's my opinion. Okay, that's all I have on this. I have to talk to some former members of the NOI about this. I really do. And if you're out there and you're one of those people who has the knowledge of all this and you want to chat with me about it, please email me at growingupinscientology@gmail.com. All right, everyone, that is all on this for now. Much more to come later today, so stay tuned. Thank you all for hanging out with me, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe